As of 6:00 p.m. As a reminder to our participants, this meeting is being live streamed. I'd ask that you now please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated.
Oh, baby. I felt that.
Welcome, everybody. We're going to start tonight with an approval of the May 27th, 2025 council meeting minutes. Having looked those over, I don't know that I saw any glaring omissions, so I'm going to make a motion that we approve those without correction. Do I have a second?
Second?
Good. Any discussion required on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Very well, motion carries. At this time, council will hear any comments, requests, or concerns from members of the public related to items on the agenda or other matters. You will have 5 minutes to speak. We do ask that you either come to the microphone or ask that the microphone be brought to you. Do also please give your name and a general address for the record. So if anybody would like to address council at this time, please come forward. Very well. We will move on then to our Finance Advisory Committee meeting. All individuals on the Finance Advisory Committee, please indicate that by raising your hand. And you, Mary Ann?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. This will be a pretty quick one as well, I believe. Just a motion to accept the May financial report, to authorize staff to satisfy the ordinary and routine obligations incurred by the borough for this month. Again, looked at the record, nothing in particular jumped out at me there. So do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Very good. Comments about the May financials? Very well. All those in favor of accepting them without edit, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? That motion will carry itself out of committee. That's all for finance, actually. Yep. And we will move on to personnel. Our chair is absent this evening, so our vice chair, Linda. Go ahead and take it from here.
Yes. May I have a roll call, please, for the personnel? Okay, thank you. Tonight, there's going to be a discussion of movement of employee 457B retirement plans from Bright House Financial to Equitable Financial, and that will be from Rebecca.
So this item this evening is talking about a movement from having our employees 457B retirement plan with one company and moving it to a different company that services it. Our 457B plan is taken advantage of by about 75% of our staff. It is a tax advantage retirement savings plan generally offered by state and local governments. We offer this to all of our full-time employees as an option. Often people are using it to help offset or add additional savings to their pension. We've been using Bright House Financial, which is the company that we're with currently, for 25 years. We've had a couple of issues over the last 2 years specifically that have put us in conversation with our broker about thinking about other options. The biggest issue that we had this year that unfortunately took us all the way up to the PA Attorney General's office was that we were sending payments. So we would withhold the payments that the employees were making from their paychecks and then send it over to be put into their 457B accounts. And the payments were being cashed by Bright House, but were not being put into the employee accounts, which was a pretty big issue, especially because some of our employees do put in a good amount in. We did, like I said, that particular issue we had to escalate all the way up to the Attorney General's office. And we did ultimately get it resolved after a number of months and a lot of phone calls. But this just seems to be an ongoing sort of administrative issue with Bright House. So our broker. His name is Patrick Caligari. He is wonderful, and he really is looking at all of the different pieces and is, sort of the finance head behind all of this. And he helped shop around a little bit for us and see what other options were out there, or if staying with Bright House was our best option. And ultimately what we saw is that the proposal we got from Equitable Financial offers a much better plan, more offerings for employees. While the fixed rate is actually slightly slower than what we get with Bright House, the market rates are going to be better, and we anticipate seeing that our employees will have more money in the account as it grows. We also know that they do electronic payments, so we can avoid the check getting lost scenario, as well as a lot of things on the administrative side that will probably make things a heck of a lot easier. The way that we would roll this out to employees would be that that Patrick would come physically to the office and work with each employee who's on the current plan and help them make the transition to the new one. This doesn't have an impact financially to the borough or the employees. The borough does not contribute to the 457B plan, so there's no money exchange on the borough end. And then on the employee side, the transition fees are actually going to be covered by the new company, by Equitable, so there's no cost to the employees either. So that's why we're recommending this change. We think that it will be beneficial across the board and help our employees continue to save for retirement. So we're just looking for, there's no particular action besides simply a motion for approval this evening for this change.
Okay, that is, I have no other questions. I have nothing else.
Marion has one too. I'll let you go
No,
first.
that's okay. I
Okay, yeah, I'm in the
just had to
committee,
think about
yeah.
it.
So, this sounds very good. Did you get any feedback from the employees themselves? Do they back this?
Yes, they're gonna, of course, want to see, better returns, and we know that the employees who are affected specifically this year with the money that was missed, they lost interest on that money that was then lost. So I think generally our employees are going to see benefit in making this change, and they'll actually have a lot more control over it as well.
Okay, well,
which
that's,
will
I mean,
be-
if I'd be an employee, I don't think Bright House has proved themselves someone to trust, and I would want to change, so, that's the only feedback I have.
I'll make a motion. Motion to approve the movement of employee 457B retirement plans from Bright House Financial to Equitable Financial.
I'll second. Yeah.
And I should note too that Patrick will actually come to the meeting at the end of the month to answer any additional questions that you have about it. When council would make the final vote, he will be present.
That's it. That's all I had.
And actually,
Linda, we have to vote.
you want to call a vote for that motion.
From your
I
committee.
do?
Yes.
Oh, I do need to call it. Okay, so
We have a motion and a second.
we have a motion and a second. And so what do I say?
All those in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain? Okay, that's good. Thank you. Motion
carries.
passes.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to Public Works and Public Welfare with Phyllis.
Hi. Everyone who is on Public Works and Public Welfare that's here this evening, will you please raise your hand? Thank you. We will begin with a review of the codes and zoning reports for May. Rob?
Good evening, thank you. So in May, we issued 22 permits and performed 27 inspections. We had 43 rental renewals and 51 inspections. So far in June, we issued 8 permits, 3 inspections. We had 28 renewals and 11 residential rental inspections. Are there any questions on the rest of the report?
Anyone have any questions for Rob? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it.
And the second item under public welfare is a discussion of draft application for handicap parking spots on borough streets. This was in your backup material. This was something that we had discussed before, and now we're kind of bringing it forward so that we can move ahead with this. I would hope that everyone has had an opportunity to read this, and it states the eligibility requirements, required documentation, location and installation requirements, and important information for people to remember. And on the back side of your paper is the actual application. Does anyone on the committee have any questions about this? None? Okay, then I will make a motion to approve the use of the application for handicap parking spaces as provided. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It has to be somebody from the committee.
I'll second.
Thank you, Marion. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, then this passes out of committee.
Very good. Moving on to the mayor's report. Mr. Mayor, you have anything for us this
Thank
evening?
you, sir. Just one thing, last Thursday, I had an opportunity to attend a seminar put on by Millersville University down at the Ware Center. It was Building Safer Communities, Reducing Community and School Violence. They had speakers there throughout the entire day from DCED, from the Attorney General's office, a lot of professors from the university themselves, and some other professionals in law enforcement. One of the things that I take away from that, just so everyone here knows, that one of the programs was utilizing social workers in law enforcement. As we know, Lancaster City employs 2 social workers on their department, and they are actually in the beginning stages of conversations with our county commissioners to actually institute something like this countywide. Should a police department anywhere in the county need a social worker to accompany a police officer on a call, that person would hopefully be available to answer that call. But that's, like I said, beginning stages. County commissioners seem to be on board from what I've understood, but that's something that we could be looking for going forward. Some of the other conversations, excuse me, working together with families and communities to prevent suicides, which has been a big thing, and gun violence. Fortunately, has been reduced this year as compared to the last couple of years, but still in the forefront of everybody's minds. But it was a full-day seminar and was well-attended. We had people there from Philadelphia and as far away as almost Pittsburgh. So it was a good 50 people from around the state came to Lancaster to listen to this seminar. So it was fantastic, fantastic day.
And did you get an impression of what kind of calls those social workers were utilized for in the city? If something like this is going to get rolled out countywide, how much utility do you see for that in the borough?
Knowing what the 2 city social workers are covering on, generally, they're not taking first responder type calls.
Sure.
But if there's an incident where people walk into the station, they want to talk to a social worker, they're there for that. If an appointment is made through the police department and the officers to say, maybe you want to come with us to talk to these folks further, or an appointments are made that they can go out and do some follow-ups with some family members on some issues they've been dealing with loved ones. So
Sounds like an excellent tool.
it's worked out very well. They've also been very instrumental in some of the homeless population we are experiencing in the city. So
I should add the loft is involved with that too. They have social workers there. And if Phil Gale was there, he'd be pleased to hear that they work closely with the school. And the school, as far as Penn Manor families go,
Yeah.
they have access to a lot of things.
yeah, I don't remember the woman, but there was someone there from Penn Manor School District as well for that event. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, Chief, you have anything?
Nope, we have our new officer in training, and that's the best thing as of right now. And we have our school resource officer back on patrol for the summer, which is going to help us immensely while we're still short these additional 2 and get back to advertising again. But I just told the mayor earlier, it's a little glimpse of what it can be like when we get fully staffed. It actually feels pretty good, so it's nice, and we'll get there. It's just a struggle.
I appreciate that and appreciate your efforts for it, Chief.
You know, the 2 items Rebecca's going to touch base on a little bit on things I talked about at our last meeting on destruction of old records. And the file that, or the outline on when records should be destroyed after so many years. So I think that was part of the packet, or
It'd be a shame to waste that segue into the manager's report. Do you have anything else?
That's all I have. There you go.
Perfect.
And Rebecca?
Sure. Two things I just want to say really quick for my report before I jump into the items. I had the awesome opportunity to attend the Pennsylvania State Association of Boroughs Conference for the first time last week. Really neat experience to go to the Hershey Lodge and talk with lots of other borough people for a few days. It was a lot of fun, although the drive back and forth to Hershey for those 3 days was not necessarily terribly enjoyable. But the content was great, and meeting a lot of other borough people, especially talking with other borough managers, was a really enjoyable experience, and I got a lot of great notes from it, which was awesome. And also a number of us, Phyllis and Linda and Emma and myself got to attend the AI for local government with Millersville University, which was awesome. Thank you so much for letting us have an extra seat, and Emma Dene got to go. We've already started using it a little bit and finding ways, so I hope that you all got use out of it as well. We enjoyed the experience. All right, so jumping into our first item, we have an approval to advertise the biosolid hauling service management contract. Unfortunately, you may recall that back in April, we had, council had approved an extension of our agreement with Denali, but unfortunately they came back to us and said, actually, we don't want to do an extension of the contract because that wasn't enough money. So, that unfortunately forces us to have to go back out to bid this contract. In your backup were a number of the documents that are part of the bidding package. We hope to be able to bring a contract back to you maybe late July, maybe August. But that is the unfortunate sort of situation that we're in right now. It certainly concerns us that the bids that ultimately do come in are going to be significantly higher than what we currently had in our contract. Les, did you want to add anything in on that?
Pretty well summed it up. I expect the bids to be between $60 and $70 a ton. They didn't want to take the 4309, which would have been the second extension. So, going rate right now is about that. So I expect this new agreement will probably be in that range. So almost double what we're paying,
And while it's not
unfortunately.
terribly glamorous or anything, getting our solid waste hauled is incredibly important. But ours goes to farms, so it goes back into use, right, Les?
Yeah.
So the circle continues. But yeah,
I think I will make a motion before you get yourself in deep.
it's funny.
Motion to authorize the advertising of the biosolid hauling service management contract.
Second. Any discussion on this particular motion? Seems pretty cut and dry, hopefully dry. Very well, all those in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, abstentions, motion carries.
Thank you. I can't make any fun jokes about the next one. The next one is approval to advertise the Cottage Avenue traffic signal upgrade project before paving. So back in March with council, we talked about a slight budget change with one of our line items to include adding the loop signal underneath of Cottage Avenue, as that's on the paving schedule for the end of this month. We completed the engineering with our engineer Jay States, and we're ready. And we received our permit from PennDOT, which is sometimes a feat in itself. So we got our permit back. We're ready to move forward. So now we do need to bid out the actual construction part of it. We plan at this point to be closing bidding hopefully on July 2nd, and then awarding the contract. Then council would award that at the next meeting on the 8th. And this, the timing is important too, because we are, like I said, paving Cottage Circle Her at the end of this month. At the next meeting, I will have the full announcement so that everybody's prepared for all those dates and everything. We did start putting it on our website, but we'll have more information about our paving schedule and when that's coming for the end of this month. But right now, we're looking for the authorization to advertise this part of the project.
I make a motion to authorize the advertising of the Cottage Avenue traffic signal upgrade project with paving.
Second.
Linda, very good. Any further discussion out of council on this one? All right, not seeing any, so all those in favor of the motion, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Carries.
Thank you. Okay, so for the next two items sort of go hand in hand, but we have to do one before the other. So as the mayor mentioned, the police department has been collecting some records that they're looking to get rid of based on the manual for record retention that is given to us by the state. And there's sort of, typically there would be only one step we would have to follow, but because it has been many years since the borough has actually done a resolution indicating their intent to follow the municipal records schedule, it's behoove of us to go ahead and pass that resolution first, indicating that we indeed understand the schedule that's put out by the state and that we intend to follow it. Otherwise, we would have to actually adopt our own schedule of keeping records, and there's no reason for us to do that when the state gives us one. So that's why we have to first approve the resolution indicating the intent to follow the schedule, and then there'll be a separate resolution that actually specifies what records are going to be gotten rid of by the police department, and those items are specified in the ordinance itself as well as the dates of those items.
So are we talking about records specific to the police department, or are we talking about more broadly records collected by the municipality?
There's two.
The first resolution is in general. The second one, specifically about what records we want to get rid of in this moment, are just about the ones that are listed in the ordinance, or in the resolution, which in this case are police department records.
And have you or a member of your staff looked over the guidelines, the recommendations, and ensured that municipal business isn't going to be impacted if we end up performing a record destruction maybe prior to, and we end up needing it and now we don't have it? We have taken a look at all of that based on our operations here in the office.
Yes, the nice thing about, like for example, on the admin side, we mark all of our boxes in our record room with the date that it needs to be destructed, because it's actually, it's sort of a protection of the borough when it comes to like right to know requests. We don't want, if we have the record, we have to provide it. So we don't actually want to keep records that should have been gotten rid of 10 years ago, because then if we get a right to know request, we got to go dig that up because we technically have it. So that's why it's really important for the borough to keep track of what we're getting rid of.
It's an absolutely critical thing to have, not just for right to know or in the event of a subpoena, but also as a protection of privacy for our individual members.
Absolutely.
And things of that nature.
And there are permanent documents that we can never get rid of.
Sure.
And those obviously remain all the time.
Absolutely. Chief, you feel comfortable about this?
I do, because we talked about it today. I talked about it with Jen, who did the bulk of the work. We literally have records from the 60s, case files and arrest reports, which I did the history of the department. We only had a full-time officer since 1950. So I believe we've just never purged any records, and you could probably fill the small dump truck. We're getting rid of tonnage here.
Yeah.
So it's just something that's just never been done, and now it's caught up to with training and running things properly. It's going to be done, and it's a positive, very positive thing.
Yeah, I've done my share of record retention work in the private sector, and know if you walk into a place that didn't have it before, you sometimes got to go at it with a shovel and a torch.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, I will make the motion to, let's see here, accept the resolution indicating intent to follow the municipal records schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
Linda, very good. That was Linda, right?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Any further discussion required on that? I didn't mean to monopolize it. All right. In that case, all those in favor, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries.
And I'll make a motion to accept the resolution for destruction of specific records from the police department.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion is carried. Abstain? Motion is
That's
carried.
fine. All right,
Thank you.
no problem at all. I just want to touch on a matter very briefly. We'll be talking about this a little bit more in 2 weeks' time, but you may have noticed we have an empty chair up here. One of our council members has decided to step away from that position. We will talk more about what that means and actually vote on the resignation and things of that nature next time, but this is new news as of this morning. Obviously, always sorry to see a member go, but we will talk about that a little bit more at our meeting on the 24th. At this time, council will hear any comments, requests, or concerns from members of the public related to items on the agenda or other items. You'll have up to 5 minutes to speak. We ask that you come up to the microphone to speak or have it brought to you, and please state your name or and your address for the record, please. Would anybody like to address council at this time as we near the end here? Very well. Seeing none, and with no reason, I believe, for an executive session, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Moved.
Second.
And second from Linda. All those in favor of adjournment, please indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Abstentions?